So first up, Anthony Burgess. I hope that's how you say it. Anthony Burgess, 1985. So I haven't actually read A Clockwork Orange or 1984, but what I found interesting about this is a response to 1984. So this came out, let's see when this came out. This came out in 78. So I just found it really interesting. Like I've heard about the dialogue between artists, and this is like a very obvious example of that, of one writer reading another writer's work and having a direct response to it. So I'm very curious about this. Now I kind of feel like I have to read Clockwork Orange and 1984 in order to get prepared to read that. Next we have The Rules of Attraction by Bret Easton Ellis. I'm not a big fan of this cover, but it's probably something to do with the movie tie-in. You know, they do that where when the movie comes out, they'll make some kind of tie-in with the actors' faces. I think maybe that's one of the actors' faces. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the concept was with this cover, but I am a fan of Bret Easton Ellis, and it's usually pays off when I read something by him, so I'm interested in this. I got Hot Springs Drive. I hope this is facing the right way for you. And Hot Springs Drive is actually a book I heard about through another YouTuber named Frankie Shelf. I can't remember if he liked it or not, but the tagline did seem interesting. So the first line is, Jackie Stenson's best friend is dead and everyone knows who killed her. Okay, I didn't know that. I don't like to look into the books too much. I kind of like to know just the gist of what it's about. And I know this is kind of about complex family dynamics, something I'm usually into in fiction. And something that, from someone I didn't recognize at all, Wait, Blink, by Gunhild. I don't know about the last name, but this one looked really interesting to me because of the blurbs. So, and then with this one, I don't always do this, but I flipped to the middle of the book and read a couple sentences, and I really liked them. The kind of literature I like is like young women figuring it out, young women trying to wrangle in their dark thoughts and impulses and live healthy lives. So this is kind of what this seems like it's going to be. In the bag of book sale, you get a bag for $4, and you can fill it as much as you want, or you pay 50 cents per book. So I just got a bag for $4, and I just, I try not to pick up too much stuff just on impulse anymore. I've been trying to really think about what I'm getting. A whole library cultivating that I'm trying to do mindfully. So this, the sticker on it. The Broken World of Tennessee Williams. So I don't go out and see plays very often, but I have had this enduring admiration for Tennessee Williams. I haven't read a lot of his plays. I haven't seen very many plays in general, but I'm always drawn to stories of his life. I was in the Florida Keys a couple years ago, and they had Ernest Hemingway's house there, the museum that you could walk through, and they had Tennessee Williams' house. So, Tennessee Williams' house was free to get in. Ernest Hemingway's house was $30 to get in, and there was a giant wait. There was a long line. And it's Ernest, I appreciate him, of course, but he's just not one of those authors that I've felt I felt the desire to dig more into, but Tennessee Williams definitely has been. So that was a nice experience being in his house, learning about his process, everything like that. So I'm always interested in him. And then another one, and this is a reference book, another by Anthony Burgess, the novel Now. And it says A Guide to Contemporary Fiction. So when this came out, this was contemporary as of 1967. So, I mean, I know contemporary, things like contemporary, modern, those words mean a lot more time than we would think. So, from the 1970s up until now, the 2020s, could still be all contemporary. But I definitely am drawn to anything that is like defining literature, defining the novel and how the novel works. I own already aspects of the novel. I own a book about literary theory, but that's a different conversation. So these are the books I got. I mean, I did pretty well, I think. There were a lot of people there. Obviously, it was a very long line when I showed up. But it wasn't, I mean, to me, it didn't feel stuffy. So when I go looking for books in a forum like that, where it's just they're laid out on tables and you just have to peruse, you just lock in. You just get your eyes down at the books and you just scanning. I was scanning for titles that I recognize and authors that I recognize. I was scanning for things that, I don't know, just drew my eye. Actually, I think this one was the first one I picked up, and it's because of the red, really, my favorite color, but something about that spine and the numbers, 1985, and then I recognized Anthony Burgess's name, and I said, okay, cool, that's one for me. Yeah, that's how I want to do things from now on when it comes to adding to my library, because I do have so many books already, and I actually want to do like a book tour of my rating, reading, reviewing my top 5 books in my collection, or 5-star books in my collection, things like that. But anyway, so that was my little book haul. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you think. I'm very curious if anyone has read this one in particular. Let me know, please. Bye.